Hey gang, it's Maria here from GoalieTrainingPro.com, and for your Mobility Monday today, we're going to do two things, and they're both for hip mobility, and they're what's referred to as CARs. So I didn't come up with this idea. I learned it from Dr. Andrea Ospina of FRC, Functional Range Conditioning fame. And so what we're going to do is they're basically articular rotation. So we want to make sure that you're getting that range of motion, but also what it does is it stimulates some of the proprioceptors, which are little nerve fibers that send impulses to our brain telling us about the position of our joint, the tension on our joint. So it helps us move more efficiently, but it also helps keep us out of some positions or send our brain a warning signal like, hey, you're actually in a really bad position right now, so tread carefully. So we're going to do two different things. The first one is just going to be an articular rotation at our hip, and I'll actually show you kind of using my shoulder because it's going to be very hard to see in the hip, but imagine that my shoulder is my hip joint, and I'm just going to rotate all the way this way and rotate all the way that way from my hip joint. So this is what it kind of looks like. I don't want to be moving my pelvis. So if I had a flashlight coming out my belly button, it's pointing straight ahead. It's not moving. I'm just moving, and again, if I had a flashlight coming out of my knee, it's going to aim over there, and then it's going to aim over there. And I'm going with as much range as I can get, and that movement is coming from my hip joint. So basically what we're doing there is just, kind of getting used to using that rotation. And we're going to almost generate some tension in that. So imagine again that our foot is in a pail of honey, and we're kind of stirring the honey this way and stirring the honey that way. And we'll do about 5 to 10 of those each direction. These are things you should do every single day. Then we're going to go and sort of use the more global rotation through our hip joint, and we're going to put a lacrosse ball or whatever kind of ball you've got. We're going to put that right behind your knee so that you're keeping your hamstring in a shortened position, and so that we're really isolating the movement at the hip. Again, my pelvis stays stable, and I'm making as big a circle as I can. I'm feeling here and here, so that when I feel that I want to be tilting my pelvis, I stop. I know that that's not hip rotation anymore. So here, when I get out here, I kind of want to tip this way. So that's as far as I'll go. I'll keep coming up, 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 and then back down into as much extension as I can get without extending my lumbar spine. And you can see I'm making kind of crazy googly faces. And that's because it's not easy. You have to really pay attention. I'm just putting the ball there and going like, I'm really working, trying to find that range of motion, trying to get to the end of the range of motion. Now, super important. And again, so I would go both directions, 5 in each direction, generating that tension. Imagine that my knee is in a pail of honey. If I'm feeling pain, it isn't very comfortable, and when I first started doing it a couple years ago, my hip muscles would actually cramp, which is really uncomfortable, or my hamstrings would cramp. But that's sort of normal until you kind of figure out how to do it and how to use those smaller muscles to control what's going on at your femur and your acetabulum and your hip. But if I'm getting pinching or joint pain or anything like that, then this is not a good exercise for me at this time. So I'm going to leave it out altogether. I'm not going to keep, well, that hurts, maybe I should do more. No. Oh, I get a painful clunk every time I come around, I get a painful clunk. No, this is not the exercise for you right now. I'm sorry. Next week I'll have one that's better for you, I promise. So there's your Mobility Monday. I'm Maria from GoalieTrainingPro.com. If you like this video, like it, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do. That would be awesome. Have a good one. Cheers.